Oh, listen close now, darling, past the sound of the marsh grass breathing, past the whisper of the tide. Didn't you hear the way the wind carried that old, shameful secret drifting down from the other Caroline? Didn't you hear about the Battle of Hayes Pond? Didn't you hear about the cowards wearing their mama's fine white linens? That's the night the sheets got tarnished. Oh, my dears, there are some nights that just sweat dread into the very soil, and January 18th of '58 was one such evening in Maxton, North Carolina. A bitter cold had settled in, the kind of cold that chills you right down to the sins of your granddaddy. The air was thick with it, wasn't it? Thick with the malignancy of cheap hate. You see, those poor, deluded creatures, those Ku Klux Kooks, had gathered in a damp, miserable cornfield next to a pond, Hayes Pond, they call it, like a clutch of deformed, ghostly herons waiting to catch some poor little fish. Their leader, a pitiful thing named Catfish Cold, had strung up a single bare light bulb, trying to conjure up some glamour of terror with his little robes. It was all so very pitiful, wasn't it? A grotesque pageant staged for the benefit of no one but their own sick vanity. That's the night Serpent's Nest got disturbed. Now, the Lumbee folk, they're not the kind to sit around while a plague of white moths descends upon their home. They'd seen enough, understood the dark, cyclical nature of malice better than anyone. They knew this was more than just a gathering. It was the ancient hunger of the land demanding a sacrifice. So, they arrived, not in a shouting mob, mind you, but with a quiet, determined step moving out of the shadows and the whispering pines. They came with their old iron and their father's wisdom, the kind of resolve that only comes from knowing your roots run deeper than any passing storm. It wasn't about seeking trouble. It was about cutting the rot out of the earth they walked on. And when those Lumbee men, with their steady eyes, let fly a volley of sound, a crackle and boom into the freezing night sky, that pitiful little pageant of supremacy simply shattered. That's the night of the folly and the shame. Oh, the scurry! You would have thought the devil himself had been released. Those grand, ghostly figures meant to instill the fear of God just dissolved into the mire, tripping over their pristine sheets and casting off their silly white hats. Catfish Cold himself, bless his heart, he ran so fast he left his own poor wife behind. A true Southern gentleman, wouldn't you say? The Lumbee, bless their magnificent resolve, they didn't just win the night. They took the Grand Dragon's banner, that ugly, stained piece of cloth that represented all that fear and venom, and wore it like a joke. they draped the symbol of hate around their necks and turned the whole wretched affair into a laughable, unforgettable humiliation. This wasn't just a riot, honey. It was an exorcism. It was the moment the Lumbee people took the cursed narrative of the South, tore it in half, and proved that the truest spirit of this land, the spirit that is older and stronger than any cotton crop or false pride, will always rise up to choke out the weeds. And those fools in the sheets, they never dared to darken that soil again. The grotesque spectacle was over, leaving behind only the cold wind and the smell of shame.
Oh, darling, forget the night the lights went out in Georgia. That, honey, is the night a single light went out in Caroline.